Yes, all of you, welcome back to my channel. So now in this session, I'll be discussing about the structure of pollen grain, structure of microsporangium, microsporogenesis. The last session I have discussed structure of microsporangium. Now I'm going to discuss what is microsporogenesis and then pollen grain, about the pollen grain. So let us start with what is microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis is the formation of microspores from the pollen grains. That is called as a microsporogenesis. So it starts from first mother cell, microspore mother cell. This microspore mother cell is found in pollen sac. So microspore mother cell. This is a diploid cell. Microspore mother cell is a diploid cell. Now this will undergo meiosis and it will form 4 microspores. It is going to form 4 microspores. This is called as a tetrad. It is called as a microspore tetrad. And these microspores are haploid because they are formed as a result of meiosis. These microspores are haploid. Now, this microspore tetrad later gets separated and it develops as a pollen grain. And this microspore tetrad shows different types of arrangements. So, first type of arrangement is called as a linear arrangement. So, here microspores will be arranged just one below the other. So, it is called as a linear arrangement. The next type of arrangement, which is most common, the second type, is called as a tetrahedral arrangement. This type of arrangement, this is called as a tetrahedral arrangement. Then the third type is called as T-shaped arrangement. It is called as a T-shaped. So in T-shape we find this type of arrangement. The 4 tetrads will be arranged in this manner, T-shape. The next type, fourth type is called as a decussate type of arrangement. So in decussate type we find one above, then 2 in the middle and another one below. So this type of arrangement we call it as a decussate type of arrangement. So these microspores are arranged in these 4 different forms. But out of that, most common is the tetrahedral type of arrangement. Now, next there are some exceptions. There are some exceptions to the formation of microspore and release of microspores. You know, once the microspores are formed, they partly germinate inside the anther. They partly develop inside the anther and then they are released for pollination. And here there are some exceptions. First one is formation of pollinium. This is found in the family Asclepiadaceae like Calotropis. Example of this is Calotropis. So here we find formation of pollinium. Pollinium formation is both the anther lobes, all pollen grains from both the anther lobes will collect and just form one structure. So this is called as a pollinium, this structure. This is one anther lobe, this is another anther lobe. And these are connected to each other by a stalk-like structure called caudicle and the disc is formed. The disc is sticky. It gets easily pollinated by insect. When insect come and visit such flower, then this disc will stick to the body of the insect. Easily it gets removed. And this type of transfer of anther or this type of pollination mechanism, this is called as a translator mechanism. By using pollinium, this type of mechanism is called as a translator mechanism. Now there are other, like polyspory means formation of more than 4 spores. If more than 4 spores are formed, that phenomenon is called polyspory. Example, Cuscuta. Cuscuta, it is a total stem parasite. The next one is compound pollen, another exception. Compound pollen is when all the 4 pollen microspores formed do not get separated. That is called as a compound pollen. Like for example, Drosera and Remus. And the next is formation of staminodes. Staminodes is sterile stamen. Sterile stamen, like for example in Kenna. Kenna, the stamens are formed from the sepals. Sepals and petals are absent in Kenna. and these get modified to stem nodes. Stem nodes actually will become sepal-like or petal-like. The actual petals or sepals are absent in canna. So these are all the different types of modifications we find in the microspore arrangement. Now let us see what is structure of pollen grain and then the other aspects about pollen grain. So now we will discuss about the structure of pollen grain. Structure of pollen grain. Pollen grain is considered to be, it is considered to be the first cell of male gametophyte. It is considered to be a male gametophyte. Pollen grain is considered to be a male gametophyte. It is considered to be the first cell of a male gametophyte. And pollen grains can exhibit in different types of sizes or shapes, and they have different patterns. Most commonly, the pollen grains will be spherical in shape. Most commonly, the shape of the pollen grain most commonly will be spherical shape. Pollen grains will be generally spherical in shape with a diameter of about you get 25 to 50 microns. They have a diameter of about 25 to 50 microns. And pollen grain is made up of two layers. Its structure, it is made up of two layers. The outer layer is called as exine. Outer layer is called as exine. So if we observe a pollen, the outer layer will be very rough or it appears in different patterns. That is because the outer exine layer is very thick and hard. So outer exine which shows different patterns. It shows different patterns and it is very thick, and this is made up of a substance called as a sporopollenin. And this sporopollenin is secreted by the tapetum. Tapetum will secrete this sporopollenin. So it is made up of sporopollenin. And this sporopollenin is the most resistant organic material. Sporopollenin is most resistant organic material. It is most resistant organic material present on the earth. It cannot be acted upon by either strong acids or strong alkalis or high temperatures or host enzymes. So that's why the sporopollenin helps in preservation of pollen. How is it pollen preserved? In the form of fossils. Because of presence of sporopollenin, the pollen grains can be preserved as a fossils. But there are some areas on sporopollenin which are unthickened. So those unthickened areas, that means which do not have sporopollenin, these are called as germ pores. Those unthickened areas are called as germ pores. Germ pores are made up of only thin wall. They do not have any sporopollenin. And what is significance of germ pore is the pollen tube emerges out through germ pore. After pollination, the pollen tube emerges out through germ pores. So that is the advantage of this germ pore. Number of germ pores generally vary from 1 to 3. Maximum of 3 germ pores are present. A single germ pore can be present or maximum of 3 germ pores. Now, the next second layer, inner layer. Inner layer is called as intine. Inner layer is called as intine. Intine is very smooth layer and it is made up of pectocellulose. It is made up of pectocellulose. That means it is made up of pectin and cellulose. It is a smooth layer. So if we observe the pollen grain, we find the inner layer is smooth and this outer layer this outer layer, it will be very thick. This is the outer exam. In between there are some gaps present. These form the germ pores. And this is the intine. And intine is made up of pectocellulose. And at the place of germ pores, only intine is present. Only intine it is formed from. And it is pectocellulose. So now inside, after the intine, it consists of a large vacuole will be present at the center. Large vacuole and a haploid nucleus. A single haploid nucleus will be present. That is structure of the pollen grain. Now, next the development, how it undergoes or how development takes place during germination. Part of the pollen grain, partly it develops inside the anther, inside the microsporangium. So let us see now what is the development of this microsporangium. Okay, development of, now let us see the pollen grain or male gametophyte. So, first division. So, male gametophyte or pollen grain. Pollen grains are formed inside the pollen sac. They are formed inside the pollen sac. You know the pollen grains are formed from microspores. Microspores will undergo the structural changes and then they form pollen grains. These pollen grains which are formed, partly they develop inside. So first division of pollen grain. First the pollen grain cell will undergo first mitotic division. And it forms two cells. Vegetative cell and generative cell. It forms two cells, that is vegetative and generative cell. Vegetative cell is a large cell with irregular shaped nucleus. It is a large cell with irregular shaped nucleus, and it also has dense cytoplasm with rhizophoid. It has a dense cytoplasm with rhizophoid. That is the main feature of the vegetative cell. And it consists of a haploid nucleus. Now, what happens to generative cell? Generative cell is much small and it is spindle shaped and it floats in cytoplasm of vegetative cell. It is much smaller and it floats in the cytoplasm of vegetative cell. And at this two-celled stage, most of the angiosperms, that is about 60% of angiosperms, the pollination takes place at this two-celled stage. About 60% of angiosperms, pollination takes place at how many? Two-celled stage. So what are the two cells? One is vegetative cell, another is generative cell. So at this stage when pollination takes place, pollen grains settle on the stigma and further development will take place. What is that further development? Generative cell will further undergo another mitotic division. This we can call it as pre-pollination division. So next, post-pollination division. Post-pollination division, what happens? In post-pollination division, generative cell will undergo another mitotic division to form two male gametes. Another mitosis it will undergo to form two male gametes. That means finally from one pollen grain, two male gametes are formed. Starting from microspore mother cell, there is one meiotic division. After one meiotic division, then four microspores are formed. These four microspores will develop into four pollen grains. Each pollen grain will undergo two mitotic divisions to form two male gametes. So finally, let us see what are all the divisions. How many divisions we can summarize. Finally, the divisions we can. Okay, finally let us see the division starting from microspore mother cell. Here you will give one meiotic division. Then four microspores are formed. These four microspores will develop into four pollen grains, and each one will undergo two mitotic division. First mitotic division, vegetative and generative cell. Second mitotic division, two male gametes are formed. So altogether we find one meiotic and total of 8 mitotic division. So here one meiotic division and here we get 8 mitotic division. Finally 8 gametes are formed. This is what you have to remember very clearly. In the end of the topic, after I complete the topic, I am going to discuss objective questions from this topic. So 8 mitotic divisions and 8 gametes are formed. So 1 meiotic, 8 mitotic, 8 gametes. So this is the development of male gametophyte. And remaining, this is most of the 60% of angiosperms. Remaining 40%, the pollination takes place at 3-cell stage. That means gametes are formed before pollination itself. So what are those 3 cells represent? One is vegetative cell, which forms the pollen tube. Vegetative cell elongates to form the pollen tube. And this vegetative cell will carry 2 male gametes at the tip. So totally, just before pollination, it consists of 3 cells. Whereas in majority of angiosperms, that is 60%, the germination takes place on the stigma, where pollen tube will be formed on the stigma. Then these 2 male gametes will carry the pollen tube through the style, finally reaching the ovule. Okay, this is how the male gametophyte development takes place. Now let us continue discuss about what are the uses of pollen grains, or if there are any harmful effects of pollen grains, or in general we can say what is the economic importance of pollen grains. Okay, so first one, let us see. Some pollen also cause allergy. The pollen of Parthenium, which is commonly also called carrot grass. Pollen of Parthenium, which is commonly also called carrot grass. This causes allergy. Then other features, some pollen are also edible pollen. Like for example, bee pollen. Bee pollen collected from the bee, this is edible. And it is available in the form of either syrups or tablets or tonics. And this is found to increase the efficiency of racehorses and also athletes. So it is given as a protein supplement to these wherever the muscle power is required. Then, so these are the different uses of pollen. The next aspect we have is about what is the viability of pollen. Let us discuss about what is viability of pollen. Viability of pollen is ability of pollen to germinate. Ability of pollen to germinate, that is called as a viability of pollen. Viability. So it can be different in different plants. So let us see with examples what are the different viabilities or timing seen in the plant. For example, and viability also depends upon, the viability will depend upon the prevailing temperature and humidity. Viability will depend upon prevailing temperature and humidity. And it differs from one plant to the other plant. This can differ. Like for example, in cereals such as rice and wheat, in cereals such as rice and wheat, the viability is only for about 30 minutes after their release. Viability is for about only 30 minutes after their release. In other members like, for example, Rosaceae members or Leguminosae members. In other members like family Rosaceae and Leguminosae, the viability period is for about months. It can be continued for about 5 to 6 months also, even in Solanaceae, Rosaceae, Leguminosae, and even in Solanaceae. Viability can be reached even up to some months. So viability period differs from one to the other. The next you have is about how the viability period can be increased. That comes under called as the what is pollen storage. Pollen can be stored by different methods. Most common method is called as a cryopreservation. Most common method is called as a cryopreservation. Pollen banks can be maintained, like just like sperm banks, seed banks, all these are maintained. Similarly, pollen banks can also be maintained of superior pollen, and these pollen banks will be useful for any plant breeding programs. So this can be maintained by using liquid nitrogen. At minus 196 degrees centigrade. Liquid nitrogen and minus 196 degrees centigrade. Then these any living material can be stored for indefinite time. Without any, it will not be any damage. It will not get damaged. It can be stored for a very, very long time. So this is called as a cryopreservation to maintain the pollen bank. So here we discussed about different aspects of pollen. My viewers, up to here. So I'll conclude my video up to here. The next video I'm going to discuss about the female gametophyte and development of female gametophyte. So there we are going to discuss starting about ovule, structure of ovule, different types of ovules also I'm going to discuss, and then we'll discuss about the development of male gametophyte. Okay, that's all for now. So have a good day, students.